On Valentine's Day, 1995, a website appeared showing photographs and documents from what appeared to be a real murder investigation. The victim was a young woman named Valerie Wilson. The website claimed the murder had happened in Oxford, Mississippi, and presented an entire evidence file.
It was the ugly duckling, and I really dug that because of the happy ending.
Photographs, documents, witness information, and even a section where visitors could submit their own theories and clues. And the website looked remarkably authentic. It became so convincing that the internet service prodigy promoted it as a real murder investigation. People actually spent hours studying the evidence, trying to identify the killer. Some contacted Prodigy asking about the case. Others contacted the real Oxford Police Department. The police had never heard of Valerie Wilson or the investigation. Eventually, the truth came out. The website had been created by Tom Ariola as an experiment in interactive storytelling. He wasn't trying to make a normal web page. He wanted the computer screen itself to become a stage, and the people visiting the website to become detectives. In 1995, that was an incredibly strange idea. Today, we'd recognize it as an early form of interactive internet fiction. In 1995, someone created a website with one of the most unsettling domain names imaginable, hell.com. But the strange part wasn't the name. It was what happened when you actually visited it. The page was almost completely empty. A black screen, a few words, and a message telling you that this was a private domain, and that you had to be invited. There was no normal homepage, no explanation, no list of pages. Instead, the website seemed to deliberately keep you out. Clicking certain words could send you through strange redirects, sometimes looping you back to where you started. Felt less like visiting a website, and more like accidentally finding a doorway that wasn't meant to be opened. And people became obsessed with figuring out what was behind it. Who was allowed inside? What was actually on the server? Why was a website on the public internet pretending that the public wasn't allowed to see it? The mystery became even stranger because hell.com wasn't just sitting unused. It was being developed as what its creator called a private parallel web, a hidden environment where selected artists could create and display experimental internet art. For years, most people could only see the outside. The actual content was restricted. That made the website's emptiness feel intentional. You weren't being shown a secret. You were being shown the entrance to a secret. In 1999, a limited exhibition finally opened part of hell.com's private world to invited visitors. During the 48-hour opening, another group secretly copied the site's contents and released the copy publicly. The creator considered this an act of theft, and suddenly, the website that had spent years telling people you can't come in had been open to everyone. Hell.com eventually disappeared in its original form, but its early design remains one of the strangest examples of the 1990s web. A website that became famous partly because it refused to show you what was inside. For decades, someone had been placing strange advertisements in the Arizona Daily Wildcat newspaper. The earliest known advertisement dates back to 1981. The ads weren't normal advertisements. They contained strange symbols, mathematical problems, historical references, and passages written in different languages. Some appeared around May 1st. Others appeared randomly throughout the year. Nobody publicly explained what they meant. In 1995, a University of Arizona student named Brian Hance noticed them. At first, he assumed they were some strange campus organization. Then he started looking through old newspapers. He found more, and more, and more. By 1997, he had collected decades of advertisements and created a website documenting them. The deeper he went, the stranger the puzzle became. The advertisements appeared to reference something called the orphanage. There was supposedly a prize for solving the mystery. And Hance wasn't simply sitting behind a computer solving puzzles. He began receiving physical letters and packages. He received coins. He received money. And eventually, someone claiming to represent the orphanage contacted him directly. The message suggested the advertisements were not simply a game. Hance never discovered a definitive explanation, and the advertisements continued appearing for decades. The website he created became a permanent archive of one of the strangest long-running puzzles to ever leak from the physical world onto the early internet. In 1997, someone registered a domain called mortis.com. When visitors eventually discovered the website, there was almost nothing to see. Just a dark page and a login. No explanation, no description, no public registration. Just username, password, and nothing else. The website itself became interesting years later when internet users began investigating what was connected to the domain. Reports suggested enormous amounts of data were associated with the site, including a file reported to be around 39 gigabytes. For the late 1990s, that number sounded almost impossible. People began creating theories. Maybe it was a private data server. Maybe it was connected to hackers. Maybe it contained something secret. The domain name certainly didn't help. Mortis is Latin for death. Then investigators discovered other strange websites associated with the same person believed to be behind Mortis.com. One of them was Cthulhu.net. Contained almost nothing. Just a black background, a white chess piece, and the words, "Dead but dreaming." The mystery became one of those strange pieces of early web history where the lack of information became the entire story. And there's an important twist. Later investigation showed that some of the legendary claims surrounding Mortis.com were exaggerated or incorrect. Archive team researchers found that the famous 39 gigabyte file wasn't evidence of a massive secret archive existing on the server since 1997. The data appeared much later. So the real story is arguably stranger than the legend. A nearly empty website became the center of years of speculation because nobody knew what it was for.